Things are a bit of a mess right now, but let me give you an update on my current project. Hey y'all. Okay, so it has been a while since I have done a room-specific video to share with y'all. And in fact, it has been about 4 years. If I am not mistaken, the last room-specific video that I did was on demo day when we were demoing the original master bedroom in this house to turn it into the master bathroom. And that was back in January of 2020. A lot has happened since then. A lot has happened in the world. 2020 kind of spun out of control for everybody. And a lot has happened in this house since then. So I owe y'all a lot of catching up. I will eventually show you the master bathroom and how that turned out. I'm so pleased with how it turned out. You've gotten glimpses of it. And then after that, I did our home gym. So I'll get you caught up on that as well and show you all of the projects and everything that went into both of those rooms. In the meantime, I am currently working on my studio. And this is the room that we turned from a garage into my studio. The work on this room actually started several years ago because we had to hire a construction company, a contractor, to come in and do a lot of framing. There was a lot of framing required for this project because the original, obviously the original garage was ground level, as garages, generally are. And so it was ground level and it had to be raised, the floor had to be raised up 18 inches so that it was level with the rest of our house, which is on a pier and beam foundation. In addition to that, there was a lot of structural stuff in, the ceiling, I don't know what you call it, but obstructing the ceiling really, because the room now has a beautiful vaulted ceiling. And before it just had all kinds of random 2x4s and 2x6s and, all this stuff in the way, blocking the view of that. And also, the roof sagged in the middle, and so that company had to come in and put a huge beam going across the entire room in the ceiling and lift that up so that it doesn't sag anymore. So there were a lot of really, challenging things like that had to be done first, which of course is stuff that I'm not going to do on my own. Like I'm a pretty confident DIYer. There are things, there are some challenging things that I'm willing to take on, but stuff like that is not, it's not included. So anyway, after all of that stuff was done, my room kind of sat there for a while I focused on other things in the house. And then I came back to it last year, and I've been working on this room since last year. It's been so much, there's been so much that has gone into this room. So it's been quite the challenge, but it's been really fun. So let me show y'all what I have done so far. And then I will show you what still needs to be done in order for this room to be considered finished in my mind. Okay, so the very first thing I did in this room is paint the floor. I am a very messy DIYer, and so I always make a mess of my floors, but don't worry, it's not trashed, there's nothing here that can't be cleaned up. Okay, here are the work tables that I made. I painted them, they were green, and now I've painted them in this deep purple color. Over here on this wall, you can see that I still need to do some trim here, paint the door. And then this is the landscape plan that Matt bought for me. He paid a landscape designer to do this for me for my birthday. I think it was 3 years ago. And then I had a very generous reader who said, I can have that printed really big for you. So I had it printed as big as she could do it, and then I framed it and mounted it for the wall. And then my calendar that won't stay on the wall, I'm gonna have to come up with a different solution for that. Okay, over here is where I installed this whole wall of cabinets. It's 19.5 feet wide. These are IKEA cabinets that I customized by adding some trim and then a little gold leaf detail to it. The countertop is laminate flooring So, I mean, that's the cheapest option I could come up with for doing a 19.5-foot countertop. And it's really durable. I'm very much enjoying having that. On the wall is a floral mural that I designed myself. And it's kind of the focal point of the room. This whole wall, really, it's kind of the focal point of the room. So this wall is pretty much finished. I just need to get everything organized because none of these cabinets are organized yet. All of the stuff that's on top will have to find a place in these cabinets. Same with all the stuff that's here on these tables. Okay, now on this side of the room, I have more cabinets. These are also IKEA cabinets, except for that. That's the bridge that I built just to connect the two sections because the ceiling is so tall that without that, the wall just seemed to kind of dwarf the cabinets. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the cabinets just looked out of proportion to me. And here is the light that I made out of tasting spoons. You can get a closer look at that. I have a whole video on that. And then over here, these are resin and alcohol ink discs that I made. I had a whole lot of them left over. A few years back, I sold some of them. I sold quite a few of them, actually. But I had these left over, so I just mounted them on these wood, well, I don't know what you call those. I think they're called cradled something. I don't know. Anyway, so I mounted them on that, and it just created this really interesting wall display. Okay, and then over here is a cabinet that I painted in 72 different colors because I just love color and I couldn't decide on a color. So I thought I'm just going to throw 72 colors on there. And it's kind of, you know, inspired by like the Bear paint display. So, you know, it looks like paint chips. Each one is labeled with the name. Okay, and then here I still have to do this trim and paint that door and all of that. And then in the back entry, I painted these walls green. I did a little makeover on my light because it was black and now it's gold. I made the curtains. The curtain pattern is the same. I just realized that I parked the van just randomly back in the backyard. That's weird. Okay, anyway. So the pattern here is the same as the mural on the opposite wall. And then I painted the doors back here, that same dark purple. That is the same purple that's on my work tables. You'll have to excuse all these boxes here. I am literally collecting boxes for a project that I want to do, and I just don't have anywhere to store that many boxes. Now, this is overwhelming. This is a storage closet that needs to be completely organized, and that just overwhelms me. I've procrastinated and procrastinated, but I need to get it done because stuff like this needs to be stored in here, and stuff like this shelf, and I have another one here, that needs to be stored in that closet. And I can't do that until this closet is cleaned out. But there are boxes in here that have not been opened in years, and that just overwhelms me. But anyway, that is the progress of the room. Oh, and my desk. My desk, I just did a little makeover on it. This is a desk that I originally built to be kind of a modern style, very, very simplistic and very modern. And I decided that I wanted to do more of a traditional makeover on it. So anyway, this is what it looks like now. I just love how that turned out. So anyway, okay, so that's the progress of the room so far. Now what I still have to do is I have to do some electrical stuff in here. There's a plug back there that is accessible that still needs to be wired up. And that will also wire up these lights, which currently do not work, but they will. I need to do some electrical stuff over here because these also are not wired up. I mean, they're connected up here, but yeah, there's an outlet over here, right there, that needs to be wired because that's the circuit that feeds that whole wall. And I need to figure out what to do with my calendar because those things keep falling off the wall. And I have tried 3 different solutions so far and nothing has worked to keep them up there. So I need to come up with a different solution because I love that calendar. Let's see, what else? Oh, I need to do after I move this stuff into that cabinet or the storage closet, then I can do the trim. You can see that door does not have trim on it. So I can do the trim on that wall and finish that up. My desk chair over here is going to get reupholstered in that beautiful velvet fabric. So I need to get that finished. And then everything just needs to be organized and cleaned up. My floor needs to be scrubbed real good. And it's getting there. I mean, it's almost finished. So hopefully I can get it done in the next couple of weeks, but we'll see.